On the military side of this conflict, joining me now, retired Major General James Spider Marks, served in the U.S. Army, now head of Geopolitical Intelligence at Academy Securities. Good to have you, sir. Thanks so much for joining.
Thank you very, very much.
So you were listening to the president there, and again, ultimately it's up to him to decide when he's done, right? Because he has changed what or at least he's presented multiple potential measures of success here, from regime change to accomplishing the military goals of weakening Iran militarily. And he said in the press conference that, his terms, they have no aircraft, missiles, that their navy's been destroyed, their leadership has been destroyed. From a military perspective, actually, the first question I'm going to ask you is, do you have a strong sense of what the goal is here, or is that still to be defined?
I think it's fair to say it was about regime decapitation, which happened, right? Mm-hmm. And I would also say it is probably three things. It's all about nukes, it's all about missiles, and it's all about proxies. Anything else, I think, is unnecessarily punitive.
Okay, so let's say you were advising the president now in the Situation Room. If those are the three goals, and by the way, the president has mentioned all three of those in addition to others, would you say to him, sir, we've accomplished those goals?
I would. Mm-hmm. The thing that we're seeing is that it's those goals, but Jim, also, look, the regime has said, here comes the successor. Of course, that successor is going to remain a hardliner. He's a creature of the IRGC, so we can't anticipate anything that's different. And almost irrespective of who was going to come in, I think we anticipated that. I know the president was hopeful for something else, but frankly, that was very, very unlikely. So Mujtaba Khamenei is not unlike his father, and probably tighter with the IRGC. So you're going to see increasing control, the establishment of increasing control by the IRGC, which is, their sole job is to protect the revolution. Artesh, the conventional military, is all about protecting the nation. So what we have right now is much like what we saw before, but an incredibly weakened state. And there's legitimate reputational challenge as well, as you can well imagine.
But does that then qualify as decapitation if you just have a younger, perhaps even more radical Khamenei now in leadership?
I think you have to look at the 40 plus folks that are now no longer with us. They got decapitated. Mm-hmm. Then you got a new regime. So my point is, Khamenei was an older man. He might have been dying in the next few years. Who knows? Mm-hmm. So we accelerated that. But we also accelerated, when they came together, this immense amount of hubris that none of us can understand, made themselves a massive target. All of that's gone. So now there's incredible chaos. Will this turn into something that's entirely more difficult to deal with if you have splintering across the country? A country that's 3-4 times larger than Iraq. And as you know, I personally and everybody else got sucked up in Iraq. Yeah. I can't imagine what it's like in Iran. And I think what's going to happen with the IRGC, they exist for that very purpose. So I don't think there's going to be splintering. And I think we're going to have to deal with an oppressive regime. But that's the decision on the Iranian people, if they're going to be okay with it. We should be okay with, look, if you're not developing nukes, or put it this way, Jim, if you start to develop nukes again, we'll be back. If you start to build missiles, we'll be back. And oh, by the way, we're going to keep going after the proxies.
Yeah, and we should note the Iranian people, it's not clear that they have a choice, right, given the crackdown we saw in January. Before we go, I just want to ask you about this possibility, at least, of U.S. ground forces there that's been bandied about. And even the president himself has left open that option. Given your experience in Iraq, even if that was a limited force as opposed to an occupying army, is it possible for that to be low risk?
Oh, no, it's extreme risk. Yeah. I can't imagine. And of course, the president and his team are going to keep options open. It's fair to not to answer the question and say, no, we've taken boots on the ground off the table. So I look at this and I just can't imagine putting forces into Iran. However, bear in mind, Karg Island has been off limits. 90% of the exports come through Karg Island. Would the United States take that and to meter and kind of work the flow? I don't know. I'm totally spitballing here.
I've heard that speculation as well. General James Spider Marks, good to have you on.
Thank you, John, very much.